Donald Trump has called the Georgia Secretary of State, who is in charge of elections for the state of Georgia, and threatened vague criminal offenses if Georgia does not find enough votes to overturn the election in the state of Georgia and cause Georgia's electoral votes to be cast in favor of Donald Trump. This is a big story that's currently happening in U.S. politics right now. Anytime anyone is calling a person in a position of authority and making any sort of threats or inducements to do something other than what they would do otherwise, that of course incurs potential criminal liability on the person making the call. And of course, the threat of criminal charges itself, even if it's not criminal in its own nature, is a political deal because one person is trying to overturn the results to favor them. This is courtesy of New York Times. The president has vaguely warned of criminal offenses as he pressures this Georgia Secretary of State in the recorded call. Donald Trump has pressured Georgia's Republican Secretary of State to find him enough votes to overturn the election and vaguely threatened him with criminal offenses, presumably under federal law, during an hour-long telephone call that was recorded, presumably by the Secretary of State of Georgia. Mr. Trump, who has spent almost 9 weeks making false conspiracy claims, told the Secretary of State that they should recalculate the vote total so Mr. Trump, not Mr. Biden, would end up winning the 16 electoral votes. Quote, I just want to find 11,800 votes. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, Mr. Trump said during the convention, according to a recording first obtained by the Washington Post, which posted online. The New York Times has also obtained a full recording of the Trump phone call. The president, who is, of course, in charge of the Department of Justice as head of the executive branch, hinted that the Secretary of State and that Ryan Jeremy, the chief lawyer for the Secretary of State's office, could be prosecuted criminally if they did not do his bidding. Quote, you know what they did, and you're not reporting it, the president said during the call. You know that's criminal. That's a criminal offense, and you know you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk. This effort to cajole by elected officials, who incidentally are of his own party because these are Republican officials, says that this could be prosecuted under Georgia law and potentially under federal law as well for interference with an election. So this is a pretty big deal here with the president saying that saying that I want you to find votes is its own special world of special, but saying that you could face criminal charges, making basically a threat: if you don't do my will, there will be consequences, could be perceived as blackmail, could be perceived as extortion. This is a pretty big deal. This is potentially a violation of criminal law in either the state of Georgia or under federal law, because it's making threats. You know, it's a perfectly nice state there you have. Would be a shame if something happened to it, kind of thing. So yeah, this is one of the more disturbing things that we've seen from the Trump administration. But yeah, Donald Trump has moved to overturn the state of Georgia by threatening vague criminal charges against the sitting Secretary of State and his lawyer if they don't do enough to find the 11,780 votes that he needs to overturn Georgia. So I hope you enjoyed this stream. If so, please give it a like. Until later, my friends, cheers and goodbye.